Just grown within
Oh, I
soil.
see.
So it's
Do
all...
you have Earl Grey?
No. No. We have Cornish tea. And then the gin. Have we got any gin kicking around?
Yesterday, Jeremy Clarkson shut down the Farmer's Dog. No notice, no explanation on the website. Doors closed on one of the most visited pubs in rural England on what should have been a fully booked Saturday, with hundreds of customers waiting for tables. The internet immediately assumed the worst. The pub that everyone said was losing money. The pub that Clarkson himself admitted turns 100 into 94. The pub that employs 146 people in a single Oxfordshire village has not once posted a quarterly profit. Finally gone. The experiment over. The celebrity pub dream finished. Enjoy the evening. You are all absolute superstars. Thank you. Oh, and also the food. Except that is not what happened. Not even close. Here is what the closure actually was. Clarkson shut the pub for one day to throw his entire team an epic party. His words, posted publicly, described his staff as a wonderful team that deserved it. And that single detail, a loss-making pub that can somehow afford to close for a day and celebrate its own workforce, raises the question that nobody in the mainstream press has properly answered since the Farmer's Dog opened its doors in August 2024. How does a pub that loses money while fully booked actually work? The answer, buried in the financial structure that sources have been piecing together since the first company's house filings appeared, is that the Farmer's Dog is not a pub. It never was. Let us start with the number Clarkson himself gave the world. The Farmer's Dog made a pre-tax loss of more than $8,000 in its first quarter of trading. Every hospitality journalist in Britain covered that figure. Every pub trade publication ran it. Clarkson's own quote, "A brilliant way of turning 100 into about 984 quid," became the definitive line about what the pub was doing financially. Here is what none of those articles explained. The 8,000 loss is real, and it is completely irrelevant to whether the business is working. The Farmer's Dog serves approximately 200 covers on a busy day. British ingredients throughout. No Coca-Cola, no foreign ketchup, no coffee grown outside the UK, no avocado. The commitment to sourcing everything from Britain is absolute and deliberate and expensive. Food revenue on a strong week might hit 4,000. Food costs on British-only ingredients at premium prices eat most of that. Staff wages for a kitchen and front-of-house team eat the rest. The food side of the Farmer's Dog does lose money. Clarkson was not exaggerating. He was describing one part of a multi-art business as if it were the whole business. And the press believed him because the press was not looking at what was happening at the bar. In its first year of operation, the Farmer's Dog sold over 500,000 pints of Hawkstone Lager, 500,000 pints at $650 per pint. That is $3.25 million in beer revenue from one location. But here is the number that changes everything. When you buy Hawkstone Lager at a Tesco, Clarkson receives a wholesale margin, perhaps £1 per bottle, after the supermarket, the distributor, and everyone else in the supply chain takes their cut. When you buy Hawkstone at the Farmer's Dog, Clarkson is the wholesaler, the distributor, and the retailer simultaneously. He keeps the entire margin, approximately $450 per pint. 450 multiplied by 500,000 pints is 25 million in profit from a single product in a single location. The food that lost 8,000 is not the business. The food is the reason 25,000 people a year make the journey to a pub on the A40 in West Oxfordshire, wait weeks for a table, and drink Hawkstone at the bar while they wait. Clarkson's own admission about the 94 quid is the most expensive misdirection in British hospitality history, and it worked completely. What has just become clear from studying the full operation at the Farmer's Dog site is that most people covering this story have been looking at the wrong building. The pub is one part of what exists at that tall barrier roundabout. Sitting alongside it on the same grounds is the Grand Tour tent, the marquee that spent years traveling the world as the set for Clarkson's Amazon car show is now permanently pitched in Oxfordshire. Besides that, there are 3 separate businesses that operate simultaneously. The Farmer's Puppy, an outdoor kitchen serving food to customers who cannot get a table in the main restaurant, offers faster service, a simpler menu, lower cost per cover, and captures revenue from visitors who would otherwise leave the site without spending on food. Every burger sold from the farmer's puppy is income that did not exist before the tent arrived. Hops and Chops, a butcher shop. If you eat British beef at the farmer's dog and want to take some home, you buy it on the way out. Clarkson captures the retail sale that his restaurant has just created the demand for. Most restaurants cannot do this. They serve you, and you leave. Clarkson built a path from the dining table to the meat counter on the same site, and the diddly squat farm shop outlet, merchandise, Hawkstone products, local produce. A 25 t-shirt costs approximately $4 to produce. The 21% margin on every piece of merchandise sold through that outlet requires no kitchen, no chef, and no food hygiene certificate. Sources familiar with the operation have confirmed that the 146 employees Clarkson has on payroll are not all working in a pub. They are staffing 3 businesses that happen to share a car park. With the pub anchoring the footfall, that makes all 3 viable. 25,000 visitors a year. Not all of them get a table. Every single one of them can visit the tent. If this investigation is connecting dots that the mainstream press has missed, share this video right now. Not for the views. Because every person who reads Clarkson's pub loses money and stops there deserves to know what the filings actually show. Hit share. If you are new here, subscribe. This is what proper British farming does. Here is the detail about the farmer's dog that sounds like a principle, but functions as a business strategy. No foreign ingredients ever. Not one. No Coca-Cola. No Heinz ketchup. No coffee. No black pepper from India. Clarkson sources it from Cornwall instead, at 10 times the price. No avocado. No olive oil. Nothing grown, reared, or produced outside the United Kingdom passes through those doors. The customers who drove from London specifically to eat British produce at Clarkson's pub did not come because the food was cheap. They came because the supply chain is something they can believe in, and that is something no national pub chain can replicate. Their supply contracts, their centralized kitchens, their cost structures, all of it is built on global sourcing. They cannot go British only and remain what they are. Clarkson built the one thing large competitors cannot copy and remain themselves. In a recent interview with The Telegraph, Jeremy Clarkson said something that landed quietly and deserves considerably more attention. "I am done with business now. I am not starting another business as long as I live. I don't understand it, and I'm not motivated by money. I just want a good crayon." Read that in the context of everything that has been documented about the farmer's dog's actual financial structure. A man who claims not to understand business built a pub that employs 146 people in rural Oxfordshire, generates $225 million in Hawkstone profit from a single location, operates 3 separate businesses under one tent using temporary structure planning rules, captures retail demand, it creates through a butcher shop on the same site, draws 25,000 visitors annually to a building that sat abandoned for over a decade, and then closed for it to throw those 146 people apart. The statement, "I don't understand business," from a man who has built that structure in 18 months, is either the most convincing performance of false modesty in British television history, or it is the most genuinely Clarkson thing he has ever said. He built all of this on instinct, on stubbornness, on a commitment to doing the opposite of what every business consultant would recommend, and on the absolute refusal to serve a pint of anything brewed outside Britain. Here is what the staff party that closed the farmer's dog yesterday actually represents. A building that stood abandoned at an Oxfordshire roundabout for over a decade, which Clarkson bought, renovated, and reopened in August 2024, with a policy so commercially counterintuitive that every hospitality analyst in Britain said it could not work. It lost 8,000 in its first quarter while fully booked. That has since poured $2.25 million in Hawkstone profit through a tap in a room full of British beef and Cornish black pepper. Yesterday it closed, not because the model failed, but because 146 people who have been running that building through a heat wave, through a butcher counter refrigeration crisis, through a planning battle, through a reopening attended by hundreds of customers queuing for hours. Those people apparently deserved a party. The mainstream press reported the closure and moved on. They missed the detail that makes the closure of the story. A loss-making pub that can afford to celebrate its entire workforce is not a loss-making pub. It is a pub where someone looked at the food numbers, ignored them, built 3 businesses around the one that actually prints money, and then threw a party when the whole thing worked. Clarkson says he does not understand business. The structure of what he built says something different. Drop in the comments if you went to the farmer's dog and had no idea the tent next door was a separate business. Tell us where you are watching from, and tell us what we should investigate next. See you in the next one.